The Femininity Deception, How Modern Society Tricked Women into Burnout. Everything you were told about having it all was a lie, not just a mistake. A calculated, multi-generational deception designed to harvest your sanity for the sake of the GDP. You were told that breaking the glass ceiling was the ultimate liberation. But look at the wreckage. Look at the antidepressant prescriptions. Look at the birth rates. Look at the hollowed-out shells of women scrolling through LinkedIn at 11 p.m., wondering why they feel like they're failing a game they never asked to play. Modern society didn't liberate women. It just doubled their workload and rebranded the burnout as empowerment. You aren't tired because you're busy. You're tired because you are being used as a battery for a system that hates you. The Roadmap of Decay. In the next 30 minutes, we are going to strip away the girl boss lacquer and look at the rod underneath. We are covering the economic trap, how corporate enters hijack the feminist movement to drive down wages, the biological tax, the psychological warfare waged against a woman's own hormonal and maternal instincts, the death of the sanctuary, while the modern home is no longer a place of rest, but a secondary corporate office, the uncomfortable future, the inevitable collapse of society that treats its life givers like disposable cogs. If you think you've heard this before, you haven't. You've heard the sanitized version. You're about to hear the version that makes people want to delete their social media and scream. The economic sabotage. Let's talk about the Great Bait and Switch in 1970. History books call it liberation. Economists call it labor force participation. But let's call it what it actually was, the delusion before the deception. A single income could support a family of 5. Today, 2 professional incomes can barely afford a 2-bedroom apartment in a zip code that won't get you mugged. Do you think it's a coincidence that as soon as women enter the workforce en masse, the cost of living conveniently rose to require exactly 2 incomes? Corporate America didn't want you to have choices. They wanted to double supply of labor to slash the value of a paycheck. You were told you were escaping the kitchen. In reality, you were being marched into a cubicle to pay off a mortgage that your grandfather paid off with a high school diploma and a job at the hardware store. If you're already typing an angry comment about progress, ask yourself, is it progress when your daughter has a master's degree but can't afford to have a child until her eggs are geriatric? Stay tuned, because the data on what this is doing to your family's DNA is worse than you think. The biological gaslighting. We are living through a massive, uncontrolled psychological experiment. For 200,000 years, the female psyche was tuned to a specific rhythm, a rhythm of community, of nurturing, of cyclical rest. Modern society didn't just ignore that rhythm. It declared war on it. We've told women that their biology is a disability to be managed with pills. We've told them of the most fundamental, miraculous power of the human species. Creation is a career setback. Think about the sheer audacity of that lie. You are told to spend your prime years, the years of highest energy and peak fertility, building a spreadsheet for a CEO who wouldn't attend your funeral. And then at 38, when the burnout finally hits, society tells you buy a Peloton and self-care your way out of existential dread. Self-care? You don't need a bath bomb. You need your life back. You might think you're different. You might think you balance it all. But if you're honest with yourself, when was the last time you felt truly peaceful? Not distracted, but peaceful? History proves that this pace isn't just unsustainable, it's lethal. The death of the sanctuary. The modern woman is expected to be a 1950s housewife in the kitchen, a 1980s shark in the boardroom, and a 2020s fitness model in the bedroom. The home is no longer sanctuary. It's a logistics hub. When you come home from work, you aren't finishing your day. You're starting your second shift. The mental load, the schedules, the meals, the emotional labor hasn't been divided. It's been magnified. Society tricked you into believing that independence meant doing everything yourself. But true power isn't doing everything. True power is the ability to say no to the world without starving. And that is the one thing they will never let you have. Why? Because a woman who isn't tired is dangerous. A woman who has time to think, to observe, and to raise her children with intention is a threat to consumerist machine. They need you exhausted. They need you burnout, because burnout people are easier to control. They're easier to sell to. For the uncomfortable future, look around. We are witnessing the decay in real time. Loneliness is an all-time high. Divorce is a business model. The femininity being sold to you today is a costume, plastic surgery, filters, and manifesting the distract fact that the foundational structures of human connection have been bulldozed. We are heading toward a future where family is a luxury good. Imagine a world 30 years from now, a generation of women who gave their all to corporations, sitting in high and assisted living facilities with no one to visit them, holding a gold watch and a framed Employee of the Year plaque. Is that the freedom they promised you? Pause. If you think this is misogynistic, you've already been brainwashed by the very system that's draining your bank account in your youth. The real hate is the system that told you your value is measured in billable hours. The femininity deception wasn't designed to help women. It was designed to maximize taxable revenue. You were sold a dream of having it all, but they forgot to tell you that all includes the stress, the chronic illness, the broken homes, and the crushing realization that you are replaced with everyone except the people you no longer have time for. The world you were promised is a ghost. The reality is a treadmill that only goes faster until you collapse. And the worst part, most of you will wake up tomorrow and get right back on it. You'll defend the very cage you're locked in because admitting you were tricked is too painful to bear. But look at your life. Look at your daughters. Look at the hollow eyes of the women in your office. If liberation of women has resulted in record-breaking levels of anxiety, death, and childlessness, then who exactly was liberated? The women or the system that now owns body and soul?